automation is the key in any type of business today, with the exception that I would always put above the automation is the team, the people, because the automation doesn't work without the people, right? And so automation is supposed to be the accelerator, if you will, of productivity of the human mind, human spirit. And so without the super talents that we have here, the automation doesn't run, right? You need that combination. But let's talk about the automation for a minute. Automation in and of itself is like money. It's a tool. Okay. It's not good, bad, and different. It is a tool to accelerate productivity. That's it. And so we started out again in the early days with manual machines, and then ultimately moved into, I'll date myself a little bit, but NC, and then into CNC, and just kept stepping up, if you will, from 2-axis turning center to 3-axis milling to 4-axis milling to 5-axis. And, we started out doing kind of what everybody else did, which is you buy standalone machines like vertical machining centers or standalone turning centers. And I was fortunate early on that I got tremendous experience in the CNC turning world because I was doing incredible projects for some of the smartest people on the planet. And so I had these engineering teams around me through my growth in this model and built some of the most incredible things, from parts on the International Space Station to Air Force One to nuclear to pretty much name it. I built it at some level. And by moving from one machine technology to the next, you can start seeing how to open up operations within organization and being able to train at a much higher level, because the automation was essentially taking a part of the labor pool out of the equation. But what it did is it gave our team the ability to level up their game consistently. So we're actually building what I would consider, super talents in the space, because we use automation where it truly makes sense and it's most effective. And then you have people that are constantly driving and improving the processes. We're kind of unique in some areas when it comes to like lean manufacturing. And I've always defined that there's levels of lean based on your resource base, right? Time, money, people, and ideas. And this constant improvement model and leaning out processes just becomes a way of life. I was just in a meeting this morning with our director, and we were talking about various projects that we're working on. And this idea of lean and automation and talent becomes the formula. And you need really intelligent people to understand which lever do we pull at what time, right? Because yes, it'd be nice to have the multi-million-dollar 5-axis machines on the floor like we do, where we have sort of evolved to push all our work statement into our 5-axis because it has the rotary pallet system that can process parts and basically run lights out. Well, that's fantastic. But if you're running 3-axis work on your 5-axis and your 5-axis rates are considerably higher than your 3-axis work, you're actually being inefficient, if you will, from a capital standpoint or CapEx. And so we decided to start testing some new automation, which is taking 3-axis vertical machining center with a big pallet pool system, so we can have our spindle uptime considerably higher, but at a dramatically reduced rate. And in simple terms, our Grobe 5-axis fully tooled up is close to 2 million. And our new Haws with the pallet pool was around 300 grand. And so you can see the significant delta in that CapEx. And so this idea of being able to be incredibly productive today is relative to what, right? You can be incredibly productive because your parts are running all night long, but you're tying up spindle space on a machine tool that should be running at a much higher rate with low dollar parts. And I can perform and operate very successfully on this lower dollar machine because now I have the pallet pool system and we can run lights out and that type of operation. So automation is an amazing, transformation and accelerator in productivity if you know how to use it effectively and you have the right team. Because at the end of the day, it always comes back to team. So getting the right people, and again, not necessarily just because they have the experience of, multi-years running a certain type of machine tool, but do they have a mindset of continuous improvement and lean coupled with the technology? That's a winning formula.